Escapism is a very subtle way of curtailing your growth. 10th of December, Friday of the second week of Advent, reflection. My dear friends, you know, if you read Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12, you will find devil will have many ways to tempt you. So he's there to disturb your growth. He's there to curtail your maturity, because he has a problem with you because you are chosen. So he will do whatever he wants to curtail you, your freedom, your journey to holiness, because that will lead you to heaven, which he lost at a point. So exactly that's why we can pass the ball to another person. That's what we call escapism. We can have 1,000 reasons without dealing the problem, without dealing it. If you go to the doctor and you beat about the bush, you will never be healed. So at a point, you must accept. You must say it's mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. It's my fault. So always it's important that you probe into your heart and see what I have missed in this scenario. That is important, my dear friends. Otherwise, you will always fall short of that journey. That of course you have to understand properly. So all the ways, every time you will find fault with the other person. Something happens, that person, because of that person. Think about the first fall of that man. And when God came and asked, did you eat from the forbidden fruit tree? And they said, I don't know. The wife, the woman, Eve gave me. And when the Lord asked from Eve, he said, the serpent deceived me. So how they passed the ball without accepting it? So we have a nature of passing the ball. We have a nature of not accepting. We made another person culprit of the blunder. So as long as you do this, you will never grow. You will never be healed. You will hide the situation. Hiding won't deal with the hiding. In hiding, you will never experience healing. So that's exactly why the Lord is saying, to what shall I compare this generation? Is it like children sitting in the marketplaces and calling to their playmates? We played the flute for you and you did not dance. We sang and you did not mourn. So we did our part, but you didn't do your part. So it's a way of washing their hands. It's a pilot culture. You wash the hand. So that's up to you. You're never responsible for the other person. You are not ready to take the responsibility. When God asked Cain, where is your brother? He said, am I the keeper of my brother? So we have this nature where we don't accept. As long as we don't do this, you will never overcome, my dear friends. Your brother is your brother, your sister. Everyone is connected. It's important that we cannot wash our hands. We cannot be another pilot. No. So that's exactly why the Lord is saying, for John came neither eating nor drinking, and they say he has a demon. Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, look at him, a glutton and drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. So they are not ready to accept either extremes. No. So because it challenged them, my dear friends. It challenged their ways. They don't want to change. So they will always find fault with another person. So when John came with self-mortification, self-sacrifice, a voice from the wilderness, they said, he's possessed. Because that word, that voice from the wilderness challenged their ways, my dear friends. So think about your life. Think about it. God has given you many things to be changed. His word is like a double-edged sword, which will pierce your heart, check your thoughts. So of course it's hurting. It causes pain, definitely. But then you have to ask. You have to ask and ask again. Is it because of me? You stop and probe into your heart. Like a turtle, like a turtle. With a sound, it goes in. Not comes out. Always with the sound goes in. Think about Mother Mary. She pondered everything in her heart without throwing it to other person. No, she pondered it in her heart. It's important that you stop and think. Advent is a time that you're called to check and recheck. That's exactly why the first reading beautifully says, I am the Lord your God, who teaches you to profit, who leads you in the way you should go. So in that connection, when you accept that I'm wrong, it's my fault, God finds it very easy to direct you. Other than when you pass the ball, of course, He can't deal with you until your heart is broken. A broken heart, He will never despise. So that's exactly why, oh, that you had paid attention to my commandments, then your peace would have been like a river, and your righteousness like the waves of the sea. My dear friends, your offerings would have been like the sand, and your descendants like its grains. Their name would never be cut off or destroyed from before me. So if you listen to my commandments, so this is exactly what the Lord wants you to do. Accept. Even the other person is fully wrong, even there. St. Paul says, consider that the other person, you are lower than the other person. Other person is holier than you. So it's important. That's exactly the meaning of Christmas, where Jesus came to the world to accept. He was spotless. He was sinless. But He was born in a crib. And He was born in a poor family. And He had to die a cursed death because He had to accept it. He was without sin. That punishment is not just in His eyes, not just before Him. Yet He was unjustly judged and He was put to death, and He accepted like a sheep taken to the slaughter. So that's how He redeemed the world. So more you throw, you will have a comfortable life, but you will never grow. The when you throw, you will never grow. So accept it. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. My fault. It's my fault, Lord. Think about it. Have a nice day. May God bless you.